the illusion of the self and the reality of oneness. This world is a projection of the self. All our suffering is created by this self. As long as there is a self, there will naturally be cause and effect. And consequently, there is time and space. With time and space, the world, the universe, and life arise. Thus, as long as the self exists, we are subject to the laws of cause and effect. Because of this, discussions about the stillness, being, oneness, or even truth are possible. Once the self is seen through, we naturally realize that everything is fundamentally quiet. There is nothing particularly special about stillness. There is only stillness, meaning that oneness inherently exists within stillness. Oneness implies the absence of duality or other independent entities. Oneness encompasses everything, while stillness merely reflects its all-knowing, all-powerful, and omnipresent nature. Consequently, there is no separate unstable state to discuss. Nor do we need to add a stillness to oneness. These ideas may be difficult to grasp logically, and can create superficial contradictions within the mind. However, from the perspective of the heart, they can be understood. Remember that the logic of the mind and oneness operate on two different planes. One is finite, the other infinite. One is relative, the other absolute. To perceive the absolute oneness from a relative standpoint requires stepping outside the binary logic, which is inherently impossible. This is why I say, stay in the heart. Everything returns to the heart. Ultimately, there is only the heart, which is the highest and most complete stillness. It is the ultimate stillness. There is nowhere else to settle. Thus, I must repeat, oneness is inherently omnipresent, all-knowing, and all-powerful. There is no self that can exist independently of oneness. The self itself contains oneness, and there is no place or corner that does not embody it. This point is often the hardest for the mind to grasp, as we view the infinite through a limited logic. It is impossible to escape this limitation through thought. When I say spiritual practice involves facing the self, even this statement is an unnecessary expression. Only oneness truly exists. Everything else, even if not labeled as illusory, can only be described as disproportionate and impermanent. From the perspective of oneness, our existence is merely a minuscule possibility among many. Yet, we invest all our energy in this small point. However, if we can shift the structure of our thinking and not allow it to become an obstacle, we will naturally discover that oneness has never been absent. Like sunlight, it shines forth, and we, too, find ourselves in stillness.